On today's episode of WatchJRGo, so many of you keep asking when are the house videos coming. They're coming today. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today we are here in the house project at the new shop, obviously, to give you guys an update of what's been going on. Now, for quite a while, nothing's been going on because, as you guys know in one of the previous videos, the basement flooded. It flooded this much. Enough that when you walk through it, it makes a little splash. That's not good. Obviously, we couldn't do anything with the basement, and all of that water sitting in the basement, which, you know, it would evaporate after about 2 days. And I was vacuuming it up consistently, probably 10 times since we got this house to now. I've gone down there with a shop vac and vacuumed up all of that water, which takes hours. But also that evaporation can cause problems with other parts of the project, you know, just filling the house with humidity. I'm getting high humidity alerts from the fin. If you guys remember the ultrasonic water meter we put in, well, it has leak detection and it also has humidity detection, and it sends me alerts all the time saying the humidity in the house is too high, which isn't crazy. I think the threshold's like 60%. So it's not like it's insane, but still, you don't want standing water in your basement evaporating and causing issues. So for the whole winter, which was a very, very wet winter, we have not been working on the house. But now, the craziest part of this project is complete, at least the beginning of the craziest part of this big project. So, obviously, I bought the house, Eric and I started working on the closet, moving things around, taking out this gigantic section right there. We still need to pull one more beam down, and then we're gonna put like a drink rail across that so you can kind of look out into the rest of the house when you're in the kitchen. A lot of stuff's gonna move around in the kitchen. The island here is gonna move over a little bit. This is too much room. Like, if this house was bigger, I'd say this is the right amount of room, but the house just, it's not that big. So you don't need to be able to do this in your kitchen. It should be easier to do that. That's the point I'm making. Anyway, let's head downstairs now and see where I just spent $35,000. And it made no difference. Luckily, in the first 3 days or something like that, as soon as I bought this house, we spent all of that time demoing, and we pulled out all the old flooring, including all the carpets. So luckily, there was no place for this to hold water. The water had to sit on top of the concrete and evaporate. And also, luckily, they textured all these basement walls, and they look horrific. And they also had like a chair rail here that was glued on. So all of this sheetrock that got a little bit wet can just go in the trash. So the basement is obviously not our first priority, but getting the water out of the basement, that was the first priority. So let's take a look at what's been done. So right here, these guys came in, this crew, and they cut out the floor in these big old squares. There's one here, and then there's, I think there's 3 underneath this giant square. Ooh, there's a huge spider. It wasn't really moving, but it's dead now. And then there's another square right here. And what they did was they cut this out and they dug all of this out in the basement. There was a pile of dirt this high in this room. I'm not kidding one bit. I think I might have a little bit of video. I'm gonna play it for you guys right now so you can take a look at, I think, the open holes. I think I have a picture of it, or a little bit of video, and you can check it out. There are some holes in this house, guys. Look at that. When they said they're digging pits, they weren't kidding. And they're gonna re-pour the floor. It's crazy. I mean, that is some thick concrete. Now over here, we're like at the actual foundation, the footer there, and it's huge. And then over here, it's like 4 inches or something. It's thick. They're big holes. Filled the entire room with dirt. So this room was completely stacked full of dirt. It was really crazy to see that inside the house. And then they went under the footer of the house and they drove piers all the way down to bedrock, jacked the house back up with the site surveys the engineers did. They took a laser and then measured all the points of the floor all the way around the house. Basically an indoor survey, which was pretty cool to see. And then they said, you know, this part of the house here, I think this would come up 0.5 inch, and this was 0.5 inch, and like over here 0.25, something like that. So they basically lifted everything back up to where the foundation was just the way it was when it was poured, and then reinforced it by running piers all the way down to the bedrock. That was crazy expensive. That by itself was like $28,000 because there's something like 5 right here and then 6 more piers on the front of the house. But after they did that, I was very upset. This was about to be a very different video. The rest of our deal was they would do curtain grout outside the house to seal this to stop the water. So they lifted the foundation up and I was still dealing with non-stop water every time it rained. I mean, just coming in from from ceiling to floor, pouring in the cracks in the basement wall. And this was bid back in October or something like that. They started all of this early December, and then I was like, okay, when are you gonna fix the cracks? And they were like, March, May, something like that. I was like, you have to be kidding me. I cannot pay you all of this money. Like the total bill was something close to 35, and then just deal with water pouring in my basement. Well, they came back about 2 weeks ago, dug out the side of the house outside, and then used curtain grout to absolutely cover the outside of the wall with a new layer of concrete. And at the same time, we came in here to the inside and we got, this is the resin, like the Stika kind of foundation repair kit, where you cover the outside of this with this resin and then you inject this sealant that's like a foam goo. This is like a waterproof foam. And they inject the entire crack with that to make sure the crack's sealed, the inside sealed, and the outside sealed. So we got 3 layers of protection, making sure no more water comes in this basement. But we're not done yet. There's still water coming in the basement, just a lot less. This was the main culprit right here. So when those guys were cutting the floor out of this room and getting ready to do all their work in here, there wasn't enough light. They didn't like that this was about how much light there was. It's not a lot. I don't know how well you guys can see me, but I can expect that there's just no light because none of the rooms in this house have built-in lights. They built this like it was a cheap apartment or something where they didn't put lights in. Don't build rooms like this. Lamps are a horrible thing. But it's just how it is. Soon we'll have real lights in the ceilings. They asked if they could remove all of the covers that were on these egress, they're not egress windows, just basement windows that were in the basement. And I was like, yeah, of course, just put it back. Well, they took it apart and they did not put it back. And now water comes through these and it was like pouring out, not pouring, but it's coming over these windows once the well fills up and coming into the basement. So this is a leak. I'll go show you guys that here in just a second. But this one doesn't even have glass anymore, does it? Yeah, that is siliconed in plexiglass, so you can imagine that it leaks when it's not a real window. It's pure garbage. So we started tearing all this apart because for some reason, oh, it's not as thick as I thought. It's a 4-inch wall. I was in here with the contractors that are about to work on this. Eric and I were gonna do this job, but I found somebody that does window wells, an Amish crew, and I mean, they instilled a lot of confidence, a lot more than the foundation repair guys. These guys were on their game. And Eric and I did some quick math. We were gonna install window wells by ourselves, dig this out with an excavator. The problem is we don't know how to do the cast well, like how to pour that and make it stand up. And they use precast wells and they anchor them to the house and then they pour around them. It's a huge job. I figured it was $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in cost. And they're gonna be about $13,000 all in. So I said, go ahead. But they're gonna cut all of this out from here all the way down to here and put in 48-inch by 48-inch sliding egress windows. You have to have them to count the square footage anyway as bedrooms because people can't escape through that. I mean, they definitely can't escape through a solid piece of plexiglass that's siliconed in place. So they're doing all the wells, sump basins, rock, excavation. So the next phase of this plan that happens in 2 months, we're 2 months out. This is just horrific, the timelines that I have to keep dealing with here. But more water in the basement for 2 more months. Let's go look at the other one. So here in the Super Echo room that has the weird makeup mirror 80s thing going on, this is what those window wells are supposed to look like. They were wooden windows that flipped up. So maybe in an emergency you could kind of scramble through that. I mean, I know when I was a kid I could have, and these basement rooms are always reserved for the kids for the most part. So this one you probably could escape, the other one you're definitely not getting out of. But this is getting the same treatment because this one is leaking water out of the corners of the window on both sides. And it's old, it's wood, it's not very good. The new ones will be vinyl sliders that are just so much nicer, and they let in some actual natural light, which is a huge improvement to the home's value. So counting the square footage, an even bigger improvement to the home's value. So I'm pretty happy about spending 13 grand to get these window wells put in. Let's get out of here. It's an echo chamber.
Just needed a power boot.
It couldn't have been a test. I mean, maybe it was a test, but like, it showed it lost power.
Yeah, the lights flickered.
And the lights flickered. I don't understand what just happened. you hit record and all the power in the house died.
I leaned against
what did you do with the sewer, Eric?
I leaned against a non-mechanical device.
The house was like,
I need to not touch things.
That's it. Anyway, here in the mechanical room where we have weird power outages for some reason, maybe the UPS batteries are just going bad. They're getting kind of old. We've obviously done a ton of work. We've got all of our fresh plumbing going all the way into the house, but soon we're switching over to the manifold here in the next couple weeks. We're pulling a bunch of new PEX-A into this house, and one of my friends is coming over to help me with that. He is a full-time plumber, and I just didn't really want to pull old PEX into an old house. That's what it comes down to, is a lot of crawling around in crawl spaces and trying to reroute a bunch of pipe. But soon, we get everything switched over, the water softener in here and all that good stuff. That's kind of where we left off. We put the fin in. The fin is working great, telling me every night that there is water running because one of those toilets has never stopped running. We use something like, I mean, instead of saying something like, I could just tell you guys. We'll just open the fin app real quick here, and I'll tell you just how much water this one leaky toilet wastes every day, because it's pretty insane. The number is 183 gallons per day this leaking toilet wastes. That's 3,000 gallons a month, or exactly what my minimum water usage is here. They make you pay a base rate that covers like 3,000 gallons, so it's not really costing me anything to just let it run. And very soon we're gonna redo all those bathrooms, move some things around, and obviously we're gonna put in new toilets because those are the old school undersized ones, and that'll solve all of our problems. I already replaced one of the flappers, and that fixed a lot of it. I think it cut the water usage in half, but the valve was trash too. It's one of those old brass valves in a toilet. They're always trash. And I just didn't want to take that thing apart and keep going when I'm throwing the whole toilet away. So I spent $3, but I wasn't about to spend $15, guys. It's too far. It's a bridge too far. Anyway, water coming soon. We got to get that water softener in, but I think I can put shelving over here. I think this is just going to be shelves. Hopefully it's nothing else. Anyway, let's get out of the basement.
Is that a stud finder? But what do you need it for when you can see all the studs?
I can see that I'm right here.
No, I'm not even putting the camera on you.
You really want to know why I needed it?
Why?
Because it's a laser level. See it? It covers the whole room. It's got a line projector in it.
It's like making me grid out the sheetrock and everybody yelled at me for it.
Everybody loves the sheetrock grid. It's the coolest. And now Eric has to build everything with sheetrock grids.
Yeah, I get in trouble for it at work.
The living room of this house is also another garbage room with no lights in it. Again, don't build houses like that. It's horrific. It's like, it makes it a trap house. That's what it does. It makes it, if you don't have lights in your ceiling, you have a trap house.
Can you make a pigeon with your hands?
Probably. How do you do it?
I have no idea how to do that.
That's turkey.
Just don't.
Anytime you have 4 fingers, it's turkey. That's all. That's true. That's accurate.
Can you do milking the cow?
I only have one hand. I think you need 2.
Yeah, I think you do.
I don't know the solutions here. But we do have a giant TV here. We got a 75 in the living room and some chairs. So when you're working, you got a place to chill for a little bit. That's really all that matters in the living room. Let's get in the kitchen.
I didn't notice your window.
I got blinds, dude.
I didn't know.
That way our trap house doesn't get its TV stolen.
They're not even wood faux blinds, they're wood blinds.
Yeah, this is fancy.
Yeah.
And here in the kitchen, to wrap up our tour, obviously we're working on the master bedroom and the closet, but there's no lights in any of those rooms yet. We're getting there. Soon we will have these awesome 4-inch square LED thin wafers everywhere. So we'll do like 4 of those in every room minimum, along with a second light source so you can mix between them and have cool looks in the rooms. But basically, so far, I've spent like $60,000 on this house and it looks like nothing has happened. So unfortunately, that's kind of the reality of where we're at. And that doesn't count the shop, where we spent at least another $50,000. If you guys add up our epoxy floors and the insulation and the garage doors and the air conditioning and the electrical, that's what's been done so far over there. And we're well over $50,000 over there. So just at this property, since I bought it 6 months ago now, right? About 6 months, 6 months on the dot, we spent $100,000 and it looks like nothing's happened. I mean, the shop looks great, let's be honest. The shop is about where I want it. Nearly perfect. We're just finishing up the last couple tune-up things over there, like some pieces of wood need replaced around the garage doors and stuff like that, and then everything needs painted white and black. The house is going to get painted white and black. The house is getting new windows, so you guys can just add those bills up. We've got quotes for the paint, $13,500, so just count it, add $13,500 to the total if you want. I'm not in the previous total, but $9,000 for windows, right? Windows and doors?
It was 11.
Was it 11?
I think so.
You told me 8,800. How did it just jump up that far?
I have to make commission.
That's a heck of a commission.
I've never made $1.
I'm pretty sure the quote was $9,000.
I haven't made money in 6 years.
Oh man, neither have I though.
Well,
Yeah, it's all gone. It went into this house.
yeah, house and taxes, and
That's all gone.
yeah, it's $5,000 and it's gone.
And it's gone. Anyway, there's your house update. Hopefully a couple things happened this week. We are getting back to it. When it was freezing cold and there was water in the basement, we just weren't gonna work in here. The basement, the attic was miserable. I was up there a few times. It wasn't a good time. We got to change all the appliances. The water heater, obviously we killed that like as soon as we moved in because it was leaking and old. So we got to switch to a tankless hot water heater. We got to replace the entire AC, furnace, everything to an HE model with the PVC venting instead of the old school flue vent. A lot of work. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts. Not like this, actually. Wait. No, wait. Not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time.
I got worried when you went for the belt buckle.
Yeah. If I'm wearing the WatchJRGo underwear.
Yeah, we're not changing to an OF page.
I don't even have that. We need that in my bunker branding store. You guys make me some underwear.
But you know the front doors, if we go double, you're looking at like another, I guess, 8,000 to 10,000.
Dog, you quoted every window and door.
But not the doors.
Well, not that door.
If you want big steel double doors, you're looking at like 10 grand at least.
Also, you remember those original doors I found in the garage that had glass panes all the way to the top? Those were the exact size that went all the way to the top of this.
Oh yeah.
So I want double doors in the front that go, or one big door that goes all the way out.
Yeah. Like maybe one big door and then like a sleek piece of glass on the other side?
No.
No.
I want one of those cantilever doors where the hinge point is here. You know, the door is this big and the hinge point's here.
Yeah.
And when you open it, they rotate like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want that.
So you can sneak someone in while pushing someone out.
That's right. It's a dual purpose door and it quadruples the price, right? Yeah.
What if we keep with your water theme, build a river down there?
Uh-huh.
And then we make the door open.
Yeah, it's
The
door is a drawbridge, and then you take your boat out of the house.
It's the coolest front door in the world.
I love it. I love it.
I built it.
Welcome to WatchJRGo. I don't know what that.
Welcome to Nobody's Gonna Watch This. I saw Eric in the first 5 seconds and shut it off.
Hey, when you had that Pella hat on, they knew you were official, though.
Oh, no, I went for a renewal by Anderson.
Renewal by Anderson.
But we put it in Pella windows.